We're gonna use these dollar store trays and we're gonna turn them into faux chalkboards with some DIY paint and some IOD stamps. We're using DIY and Little Black Dress. We're not doing any prep because these are super shiny. We're gonna spray instead of brush, but you could also brush the paint on.
So the big reason that we are spraying these and not brushing them is because it will take a few coats to brush them because they are so shiny. So we'd have to do a tack coat and then probably a couple of coats for coverage. And if we spray them, I can probably just spray them once, get full coverage, and be done.
There were a few areas that must have had some grease on them, so we had to come back and do a second coat. If you're brushing, don't be a perfectionist with this because they are so shiny, so there may be a few areas where you still see a little bit of brush strokes through, and that's okay. You can also try brushing on a coat of the paint, letting it dry completely, spraying on a clear coat, and then putting on 1 or 2 more coats, and that would help it because this shiny is gonna take a long time to cure. Spraying with a spray gun with DIY is the easiest and fastest way. Now that it's dried, I'm just gonna take my cloth and ever so softly, because like I said, it's super shiny, so this paint doesn't wanna stick until it's fully cured. I'm just gonna pull back some of the detail. We only waited till this was dry to the touch. The longer you wait, the little bit harder you have to work at getting it to come off.
All right, so I've got my IOD stamp set and I'm just laying this out to say Noel. It's pretty easy. You just basically spell it out how you normally would. And the goal is to get this to look like a chalkboard, like we put these on here with chalk. Okay, press those on nice and good so they don't slip around. So I'm using DIY White Swan, just loading up the brayer here. The DIY paint dries fairly quickly, so once you get it on your stamp, you want to get it pretty quick over to your piece.
In this case, you want to make sure there's no paint around the edge because it's kind of down into there and it might get on your piece.
Mostly just eyeballing this, getting it as close as possible to center. And it pulled a little bit of that black off because our black wasn't cured quite yet, but that's okay. It looks okay. It's got that added distressed look. So this one is going to say Joy. Alright, so I only have one E in the lowercase for this typeset. So I'm going to have to put an E. I'm going to have to do that separate. I'm okay with that.
Yeah, it's a little off-centered, that's okay.
It's just like slightly off-centered, but you know, it's a homemade craft.
It's homespun. I think that this bow is going to be too much. Like, it'll be top heavy there. Like, if I could put something on each side, put this in the shop.
Okay, so the letters were from the typeset, and now I'm going to be using a couple of wreaths and things from the Queen Bee set from the IOD stamps.
You can pick these stamps up at jamirayvintage.com.
We just felt like they needed something a little extra.
Because we're extra. Oh, that's cute.
Okay, on this one, since I actually don't need to have it on the backer to line up a word real nice and straight, I'm going freestyle on it.
Is that better?
Still got it up on the side a little bit, but
I'll come help you out.
thanks for the assist.
Do I get like stats for that assist?
Yeah, +7 to stamping assist.
Ooh, that's nice. Okay, it's down. Ta-da!
I feel like that worked out pretty well.
Yeah, I think we should repaint this one. The next step that we're going to do is we're going to spray these with Top Coat by Sweet Pickins. If you do not have a spray gun, I would not suggest brushing the top coat on these because they are so shiny. I worry about it pulling that paint right back off. So I would just get a spray can of water-based sealer if you don't have access to a spray gun. These are lightweight. They like to blow around, so I like to hold it with one finger and then delicately hold it with another finger. Otherwise, my spray gun blows them all over the place. The next step is how these are going to mount to the wall. So I'm going to be using a high temp hot glue gun and a hot glue gunning ribbon to the back. So I've just taken, this is just a lacy ribbon that I bought at Hobby Lobby, making sure that it's the right size. And I'm just going to take and put a dab here, put a dab here. So I'm just going to place these on here and I'm going to use a silicone mat to push this down so I don't burn myself. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little bit more glue over the top to kind of sandwich it in there because you really don't want this coming off.
They're pretty light though.
They're pretty light, they don't weigh much, but especially if you're going to be reselling them.
When we first got started, I was a little skeptical on how this little dollar store hack would turn out.
How could you doubt my dollar store hack abilities? I saw these at the dollar store and immediately my mind was like, faux chalkboards. Apparently your brain doesn't work the same way.
I would have never picked these up and thought faux chalkboard on here.
Zeb said when he saw these, they look just like something he's seen at our fancy schmancy grocery store for like 30 bucks.
Yeah, and you know, their stuff's on porcelain sometimes, but it's kind of same thing.
So there's a few things. We picked these trays up at the dollar store. I see these in varying shapes and sizes at the thrift store all the time. So if you don't have a Dollar Tree near you, go to your local thrift store and see if you can pick some up inexpensively. The key here is A, using the DIY paint, because the DIY paint, it will wet distress very easily. And once it cures completely, which takes about 30 days, this is gonna be rock solid and it's not gonna peel off like the way a spray paint would. If you are brushing, just be patient, let it dry really good in between the coats, and when you put that second coat, go really softly. Because this paint, you know how you can wet distress it and pull it off? When you re-wet it with the paint, if you push too hard, you're going to pull that paint off. So just go softly when you put that second coat of black on there. All Christmas long, we're doing a handmade Christmas, so we're coming up with all kinds of ideas and multiple ways you can use the DIY paint and the IOD products to make your own handmade Christmas decor. But if you're watching this video and it's not Christmas, or maybe you don't celebrate Christmas, you can take these stamps and you can create any look. It can say anything you want and you can customize it to fit your needs.
You could have it say sheep or pig or...
These would be really cute with the farmhouse animal stamps that we have too. Be sure to go to JamiRayVintage.com. We use DIY in Little Black Dress, White Swan. We use the Sweet Pickins top coat. You could also substitute DIY Big Top. Either one would work fine. Then we use the IOD stamps, Queen Bee, and the typesetting. Oh, and don't forget your brayer. It makes stamping so much easier with paint.
If you like this little dollar store hack, be sure to share it with your friends. It's a quick, simple, easy project that you could even probably do with children for the holidays.
Or husbands. Don't forget to hit that notifications button so you don't miss any of our holiday crafts coming up. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe to Jami Ray Vintage for more
DIY.